Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is a bit different from the norm. As some of you know, I recently had the pleasure of being interviewed by acclaimed gentleman's lifestyle magazine CIGAR and Spirits. I sat down with Lincoln Salazar to talk about the elegant Oxford and to demonstrate the how-tos of a proper shoe shine. The following video is that interview. I really want to thank CIGAR and Spirits for this opportunity to share my philosophy behind the elegant Oxford to fans of the magazine, and for the all-around great time I had to sit down and get to know everyone behind the scenes. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you, my viewers and subscribers, for your continued support of the elegant Oxford. Thank you for watching my videos and commenting and being so awesome. I wholeheartedly thank you. Remember to visit theelegantoxford.com for all of your shoe care needs, and don't forget to hashtag shine your shoes. I'll see you next time.
My name is Lincoln Salazar, CEO and publisher of Cigar and Spirits magazine, and we're sitting here at the Tobacco Barn in Lake Forest, California, as we're sitting with Preston Soto, as we're going to be discussing his YouTube channel that he has, which is the Elegant Oxford. And what he does on this show is remarkable, because what he does is he takes these shoes and restores them to new. I mean, the man's made a lifestyle off of it, and he's probably the top in his industry now, with over 100,000 subscribers on his YouTube videos, as well as over 1 million views on some videos alone. Preston, thanks so much for sitting with us today. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So tell me, Preston, how did you get into, refurbishing shoes?
By complete accident. I never planned on doing it. I just kind of happened by accident. I bought a pair of shoes after I graduated, and I shined them up, and I joined this Facebook group about shining shoes, and everyone really liked it.
Did you think you were going to do this for a living?
Not at all.
So
Never. No.
And you're married too, right?
I am.
Okay. So when you went to your wife and said, I'm gonna restore these shoes and I'm gonna do a YouTube channel with this, was she like, because you're gonna become an attorney, right?
I wanted to go to law school really badly. And after college, I was taking the LSAT and all that. But when the Elegant Oxford took off, it just was something that I liked so much I couldn't stop doing it.
How'd you get the name, the Elegant Oxford?
Okay, this is funny. I don't remember. I think I was in the car with my wife and we were thinking of a name, the shiny shoe.
I think it's a cool name, by the way.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue, and I don't remember how it happened.
It's very prestigious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like very gentlemanly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one reason why we wanted to have you on today, because Cigar and Spirits magazine is about not only cigars and spirits, but lifestyle. And we speak a lot about being a gentleman, right?
Right.
And one part about being a gentleman, one thing I was taught at a very young age, is the way a man wears his shoes. Sure. And what kind of shoes a man's wearing. And not always necessarily expensive shoes,
absolutely,
but how well maintained they are, because as we know in any business or in life or family, the devil's really in the detail.
Right.
And what's in more detail than what you're about to show us right now, as you take these shoes and just refurbish them into absolute beauty. I mean, it's a real artisan. And I believe it's kind of an artisan that's lost today, but it's really coming back.
Sure.
I mean, it proves it with your subscribers and your viewership that you're having on YouTube right now.
Absolutely, I think that's true.
Now, when did you finally see like the first video that kind of popped up and you're like, oh wow, this is something here. I'm getting this many followers. When did you kind of see that come?
My videos didn't have a lot of views, and then I was at a thrift shop and I recorded myself buying a pair of thrifted shoes and restoring them. And it went viral. I had 1 million views and a bunch of comments. I was featured on another page, and it was just really something I never expected. And that's kind of what.
Did you just post on your Facebook page and it went viral, or did you post?
It was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube.
Yeah, before it all began, the $15 thrift store challenge, and that was really popular.
And you woke up and you're like, oh wow, look at all these viewers that happened.
One morning I woke up and I was like, honey, I have 5,000 followers. And the next morning was the morning my daughter was born, August 11th.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I had 10,000 followers. And it started jumping, and I thought,
and now it's over 100,000.
So I had 120,000 this week.
I was watching the comments on the videos too. I mean, there's so many great comments, and so many people are just huge fans of what you're doing.
It's the best
because it's a lost artisan. I mean, it really is, and I believe it's just coming back, especially with this new generation of craving that old time feel and look to it. And as gentlemen, I think it's important of how a man especially wears his shoes.
Absolutely.
And you can tell a lot about a man by his shoes, depending on whether they're the leather business type shoes, or whether they're sports, maybe they're an athlete.
Right.
Or all those different things tell a story. And I think you're really telling a story here, and you're creating something that I think is actually really, really cool for this future generation of something that I think men should take pride in. In their their fashion.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I think shoes are analogous to life. Like how you maintain your shoes says a lot about how you maintain your life, how you present yourself, how you're ready to face challenges. Shining your shoes is just that small little piece you can control. And
so, how many pairs of shoes do you have now?
This surprises a lot of people. I only have about 12 personal pairs, but I do shine a lot. I see a lot of shoes. I handle a lot of shoes.
Some people are paying. I heard that up to $500 to have you actually work on their shoes.
I do have,
and they fly you out for different events. And
yeah, I've actually been to some places. Most people mail them to me, and some jobs do cost $200 or more. Artistic jobs. If I can show you right here, this is a pair I'm working on right now. This is the bare pair. I haven't touched it, and then this is the pair I've worked on.
So this is the same shoe.
The same shoe, yeah. They're the pair.
And this is after you finished it.
Yeah, I added a olive marbling effect in a darker toe, darker areas, and some people, for the people who like this artistic patina, it's really popular and they really like it.
So beautiful about what you do today, it really teaches, I even think, a younger generation not to be wasteful.
Sure.
Because I think what a lot of people do is they wear their shoes out and they just get rid of them. They don't realize that they can restore them and make them even more beautiful than probably even when they first got them.
Right.
And I think that's something that's just we need to take on as a generation of not just throwing stuff away, especially something that when making an investment into shoes. How much do you think someone should spend on the average on a good shoe?
I think it really depends on their budget, but if you're looking for a good entry level, I think it should be Goodyear welted, which means they can be resold. They're made of full grain calf, which means it's quality leather. I mean, you can get a good pair, let's say by mere mean, for $200 to $300, and then in the higher the next step up is an American shoe like Allen Edmonds for about $400, and then you can get into different. But you can spend up to $1,000 to $2,000 on a pair of shoes if that's your budget and you want a pair of shoes. I say go ahead and get a pair of shoes.
What's been the ultimate shoe for you when since you've been doing this? Like where someone has either sent you a shoe or you went and got a shoe. You're like, I can't wait to work on this one. What's like the golden shoe?
Yeah, I work on Allen Edmonds, which are considered entry level, the very lowest of entry level. But there's a company, Graziano and Girling. They're legendary. They're from Savile Row in England. And someone sent me a pair to shine last week, and I had a really good time doing that. So that was a new experience, actually handling a pair that nice. And I'm still learning as I go, but it's still so fascinating and fun for me to pick up pairs I've never even looked at before. It's just really humbling, to be frank.
So one thing we like to ask every person that I ever sit down with, because it's so important to the publication.
Sure.
Because I write a publisher's note in every issue where I talk about being a gentleman and what it means to be a gentleman. Now, my vision of a gentleman might be different than someone else's. So I always like to hear from someone, what is it to you that makes someone an actual gentleman?
Gentleman is someone who's responsible, accountable, and who works hard. And I think that those are the founding principles of the Elegant Oxford: responsibility, accountability, and hard work. And I think that applies to your life in general, how you present yourself, what you do in the face of difficulty, how you treat other people. I think that's what makes a man a gentleman.
And I think that's what we found with Cigars and Spirits when this was brought to my desk was we're looking at the Elegant Oxfords. We go, this is really a gentleman's trade, and this is and you represent that with your channel and your brand and yourself. Yeah, we got an opportunity to talk a little bit before we sat down today, so I really got to see that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to do here and the whole demonstration and coming out to coming up north. You're from San Diego, right?
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, California.
So we really appreciate you coming out, and you can go to the Elegant Oxford on YouTube, search it, Google it, and guys, find different ways of seeing this artisan and watching.
I have a lot of tutorials. If you want to learn to do it yourself, I try to teach as much as I can on my videos.
I'd love to, and if I can't, I'll send them to you. I promise. No one else, because I hear you're top. You're top in the industry.
Thank you.
But it real quick does remind me of what you're bringing back today. I had a friend, Donnie Hollywood, who was in the barber industry for years, and the barber shop really didn't come back until probably 20, 30 years ago, 20 really plus years ago. Now, and now it's just a wave.
Sure.
And so it's really beautiful to see you doing this. And I believe we wish you the best. And we're very excited to have you here today. And we really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thanks, Lincoln.
So make sure to go to the Elegant Oxford on the YouTube channel. Also look at cigarandspirits.com, guys, and be able to see more in the Gentleman's Corner to see what we're doing behind the scenes. Cheers.
of dress shoes, the first thing you want to do is make sure you use a good cedar shoe tree. Now these are really underrated. Cedar shoe trees keep the shape of the shoe, and they wick moisture out of the leather. So it's really good to have these. Once you're done wearing the shoes, you come home, take off the shoe, and you insert that shoe tree like this, and there you go. This will really maintain the longevity of the shoe and make it last for years to come. So it's always really important to invest in a good pair. They're not very expensive at all. They're like $20. So once you have the shoe tree in, you're going to use a stiff brush made of pig bristles. And these stiff bristles just get all that dust off. And both pairs right here. There we go, just like that. First step is to add some leather conditioner. And I love using, if you guys watch my channel, I love using Saphir Renovateur. I found it's the best conditioner I've ever used. And you just massage it into the leather like that with your fingers, or a rag if you'd like. There's no difference. I like using my fingers because of control. There we go. Just like that. Let me get rid of that shoe thing. Just make sure it goes on there. Don't use too much. Just a tiny, tiny bit like that. Just like that. Put it in. All over the shoe. All right, now you just wait 5 minutes. You can totally wait overnight if you'd like, but 5 minutes is totally sufficient. And then you brush it off. While it's waiting, you can do the other shoe. That works. Just add a little bit of drops here and then just massage it in. All right. I like using my fingers because you can really get into the crevices down here. And if you really need to get into crevices, you can use something like that, a little tiny welt brush. You just dab it in and just make sure it gets right in there. I had a viewer send this brush in to me, so I really like it. Just want to thank him for sending that over. Just make sure to get all of that in there. Okay. Okay, so you just wait 5 minutes and then you brush. So once the conditioner doesn't feel sticky anymore, you can get a horsehair brush just like this one and just brush it all off. And you'll notice a shine start to come on like that. So that's just to clean and preserve that leather. It's a really good idea. Alrighty. Okay, now you want to add some pigment into the leather. So you get a pigmented cream like this one by Saphir. This is mahogany. And it matches the shoes really well. There's no such thing as a perfect match, but you can really make sure you can get a cream that matches closely. Or you can actually use a cream to accentuate colors and shades that you want. So this is really orange, red, and I think it matches the shoes really well. So you just get some on your finger like that. And it's highly pigmented, so it'll restore whatever color's lost if you get a little scuff on there. Because that happens sometimes when you're wearing your shoes. You'll get a little scuff. So just make sure to add it in circular motions. And use less than you think. Just a little tiny dab and then massage it in into the leather like that. There you go. So same process as the conditioner, except this time you're adding pigment back into the leather. Now, if you don't want to add pigment, because some people don't like their shoes to change color in any way, you can use neutral shoe cream as well. That matches all colors and all shades, and that's something that you can decide to do if you want as well. So there we go. Make sure to get into all the areas. Okay, and after that's done, you wait 5 minutes. And then you brush again, and then you get into the final step, which is the wax, which is how you produce a really high shine, and that's the really popular one. So once that shoe cream is dried, you can use the same brush and just brush it off. Now, it's a good idea to have two brushes in case you have, darker and lighter creams, just to separate that. You can see the shoe's already looking a lot shinier. You can do more than one coat if you'd like. Just like that. Make sure that doesn't fall. Now that that's all done, it's time for the famous spit shine, mirror shine that's really popular. And that can only be done using hard wax. So this is shoe wax, kind of like kiwi that you might see at Walmart. And there it is right there. Okay, so there are a lot of different methods on how to do a mirror shine. This is a method I've been using recently. I think works fantastic. So you get a little bit of wax on your fingers, and then you rub it onto the area where you're going to want that mirror shine to pop up, and then in surrounding areas. Now the wax is good for a mirror shine, but it's also good for protecting the leather from water droplets, dust, and oil. I've had a lot of people email me saying, oh, I spilled some olive oil on my shoes. And I told them a little bit of wax would have mitigated the issue, because now you have a huge spot. So you just do that, just like that. Add a little bit of wax everywhere. Okay, and concentrate on the toe caps. So if you want, you can add 4 or 5 layers just like that. Let that rest for just 20 seconds. This one's wax dries a lot quicker than cream, so. Alrighty. Make sure to get these little crevices right here with your finger. It's always a good idea. Okay. And on some of the shoes right here. And you want to avoid hard wax on these flex points so it doesn't crack when you walk. So make sure to do that. Not too much. But you can always high shine the back heel right here. There's a hard countering back here, and it'll let you mirror shine it. Okay. So just add the wax. Wax dries quickly. Okay. We got that. We're good to go. Now, this is the technique for wrapping the cloth around your fingers. It can be any cloth as long as it's cotton. You can go to any store, get a shirt, and cut it up if you'd like. So you get your 2 fingers like this. You wrap it around just like that. Then you twist around your finger. And you go as many times as you need to, if it's short or long, around your wrist. And you pull, and there you go. So you do need water for this, or you can traditionally use spit, but it's not a good idea. At least I don't think it is. So this little water applicator really helped a lot. Just a little bit of water like that. Make sure you get it wet. Okay. Then you put a drop or 2. Then you start buffing back and forth like that. Just like that. Then you just touch the wax, not very hard, just touch the wax. Keep going back and forth. Just keep going back and forth, adding small drops of water. Now a little bit of wax. That'll bring out that high shine. As you go back and forth, you'll notice it starts to develop this kind of mirror-like appearance. And you got to be cautious because you could get stuck doing it all day because you just want it to look shinier every time. But if you go at it for 20, 30 minutes, you can get a really glass-like appearance. Now, you don't want too much water or the leather will oversaturate. So just small drops back and forth. My secret recipe is a little bit of water and rubbing alcohol mixed together. Just get a little tiny bit on your finger. And that rubbing alcohol will help melt the waxes to produce that shine. Sometimes the wax doesn't want to melt too much. So, and I found the colder the water, the better for the high shine. Just a little bit of water, back and forth. You can go into this back area right here. Bit of wax. Reminiscent of the old military spit shines. Looking a lot shinier right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks a lot better. Here we go. So you'd be justified in stopping right here. You can go even higher. You can get really mirror-like, but let's do, I think this looks really great. Yeah, looking mirror shine right there. you could probably tell the difference between the two shoes right here, if you can see that. This one's mirror shined, this one's not. So, and as a final step, you want to get all the final pieces of wax you didn't get off just around some areas of the shoe. Just give it a final little brush. Here we go. We've got a pair of mirror shine shoes, and they're ready to wear.